Welcome in this meeting. We are a group of 3 students, I, Philemon,
Narcisse Isavayo,
and we are going to discuss more about anthropology. Firstly, this meeting we are going to discuss some anthropology terms. In addition to that, we are going to share different types of food of different countries and different rituals attached to those types of food. Not only that, but this meeting also will cover different field logs that we did. Every and each group member of this group conducted a research in Rwanda of a certain type of food and different rituals attached to them. So without wasting a lot of time in the overview, let's now take a step into anthropology terms. Let me first start with enculturation. Enculturation is the way a person gets familiar to a certain culture because he or she has been exposed to that culture for a long period of time. Let me use an example to better clarify this term. For example, a child was born in Uganda, but for certain reason, the child is raised in Rwanda. Because of that child has been exposed to Rwandan culture, he or she will have Rwandan culture such as speaking Kinyarwanda, doing things that are common as other Rwandans do. Let's now move on ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is the way a person judges a certain culture based on his or her original culture. For example, Japanese eat rice in most of their meals. And in Rwanda, we usually do not like to eat each meal with rice in it. So if a person from Japan come in Rwanda and then find people not eating rice so often, he or she will think that Rwandans do not eat balanced diet because in Japan their meal has to contain rice to consider it as a balanced diet.
Yeah.
So that's ethnocentrism, judging a certain culture based on your past experience of culture. So friends, can you please move on the third anthropology term?
Thank you, Philemon, and I welcome all of you in this meeting also. I'm going to start with saying a little bit about cultural relativity. Cultural relativity, in short, it is the opposite of ethnocentrism. When we say a person is cultural relative, when he doesn't judge someone's culture based on his own culture. For example, let's use the same example that Philemon used. If a Japanese come here in Rwanda and see the Rwandans do not like to eat rice, the Japanese will not judge Rwandans because they do not take rice. Instead, he will understand that Rwandans do not like rice because it is not in their culture. Instead, they like beans. That is the meaning of cultural relativity. The second one that I'm going to talk about is symbolism. The symbolism is an act or a thing which has a common meaning in a particular culture. Let's say an example. In Rwanda, it is known that if you meet someone, you have to greet him with both hands. That is symbolism because it is common in Rwanda and everybody does it. Yeah. Thank you for this. Let me welcome Narcisse to talk about ritual and the other one.
Thank you very much, my teammates. I'm going to continue to talk about anthropology terms, and let me start by what is called ritual. Ritual is a set of activities that has a specific meaning in a certain culture, and those activities represent something which is also specific or respective to the given culture. For instance, here in Rwanda, a cow represents the thankful sign in dowry ceremony. They used to give a cow to they used to give cow to a bride's family in that ceremony. It means that a cow has that sign or activity of giving a cow represent the ritual in Rwanda. Subculture is the last term. Subculture is when in a main culture there is other small cultures that are being developed in that main culture. For example, in the same country, like in RDC, Republic Democratic of Congo, it is a big country. You may find that people from north have their own culture, and people from south have their own, but they have some commons. Those cultures that are being developed in the main culture are those we call subcultures. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all of you to share different anthropology terms. But what I would like to remind you is that these are not the only anthropology terms used, but we as a group, we have discussed some of them. We tried to find the most commonly used terms. That's why we did not discuss all of the anthropology terms. As I said in the outline of this meeting, we are going to step into discussing about different types of food in different countries and discuss of their rituals and how they are culturally perceived by people. Let me introduce you food rituals in Hindu wedding. Normally, people in India have some rituals in their cultures that they do when they are in wedding ceremonies. In Indian, they have their culture is called Hindu. When they are in wedding, they usually use fruits in their wedding, and we are going to discuss some of those fruits and their meaning to better understand how Indians to better understand different rituals in Indian culture. During ceremonies, fruits are involved than any other types of food in India. This means that Hindu have some rituals attached to fruits. Now let us discuss the first fruit that they usually use in their wedding and which has some rituals attached to that fruit.
Yes.
The first one is coconut. Coconut is a fruit used in Hindu wedding, and this coconut symbolizes dignity and prosperity. Usually when in wedding ceremony, they prepare that coconut and then give it to the bride as a sign of dignity. Another fruit that they use is the common seeds. This one they mix them and then they pour it on the bride on the head, which symbolize the bitterness and sweetness of life. They mixture them to symbolize that the life is full of different things, bitterness and sweetness of life. Yes. So I think those were the two main fruits that have a specific ritual in Hindu wedding ceremonies. I hope now I can step to the second one. This type of food is rice, and the country is Japan. We are going to discuss how rice is perceived in Japan and different rituals attached to rice in Japan. Normally across the world people eat rice as usually, and here in Rwanda we usually prepare rice as meat, but normally we do not have a very specific ritual attached to rice. So that's why we are going to discuss about how Japan have a certain perception about rice. Normally, in the past time in Japan, rice was used as a reward for a warrior or a soldier who have accomplished very important things on the war, on the battle. So that means this create a value of rice amongst Japanese. So that's why that has started from the past until now. There are some rituals attached to rice. The first thing that Japanese believe that when they eat rice, they are physically strong. They feel like rice, since rice has been used to reward a soldier who has done a very great things on the battle, then rice symbolizes being strong and having power. So, in addition to that, they believe that when rice symbolizes eating food which contains all vitamins, like a balanced diet. Yes. So, I think that's from the research, we have seen that it starts from the past on how rice was being rewarded to soldiers, and now they believe that rice is a food that builds the body to be strong. So that's the main ritual attached to rice. But Narcisse, I would like to ask you from what I presented. What did I say that coconut represent in Hindu wedding ceremony?
In Hindu, I've heard that coconut represents that dignity and prosperity in their culture. They believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Friends, related to Japanese rice, how would you relate how people in Japan consider rice and a certain type of food that people in Rwanda consider as the same as Japanese consider rice?
Thank you, Philemon. You remind me of the field work that I made, the research that I did. I can compare in Rwanda. Rwandans usually consider beans like the main food.
Yes.
And it is like the same thing in Japan. Yes. Japanese consider rice like their main food. Yeah. But here in Rwanda, we consider beans. Yes. It means somebody who has not, who does not have beans in the meal, yes, on the table, he thinks that he didn't eat it because we consider beans like the main food. It's the same thing for the Japanese rice. Yeah. Yeah. Is that the answer?
Yes. Thank you very much for being attentive on my presentation. Yeah. Then, Prince, can you please share with us your menus?
Yes, thank you, and I welcome you again. I'm going to share with you menus that the research that I made on 2 different culture and food. Yes. The first one, it is potlatches on the northwest coast. Yes. And the second one, it is about Hawaiian Poi. Yes. I'm going to start with the potlatches on the northwest coast. Yes. First, I'm going to define the potlatches. What is potlatch? Potlatches have different definitions, but in some ways potlatches are defined as the event. Yes. An event. And other times the potlatches are defined as the place where the events are being held. It means when I say potlatch, someone can understand the event, and the other one can understand the place where the event is being held. Yes. Yeah. But according to Gifting and Feasting website, yeah, potlatches are social occasions given to host to present his social position in the society. It means when, for example, when my wife make a newborn, yes, then I will host my neighbors, and I cook, everybody eats, in order to present the newborn. Yes. That is a potlatch. Yes. It's a social event which presents a new occasion given to a social position. Yes. Yeah. During potlatches, there are some rituals and things that are done in potlatches. Yes. The first one, it is food and feasting. In potlatches events, the host had to prepare much food to give the guest. Because in potlatches they eat and eat again. It means the host have to prepare a lot of food. Food which was prepared to give guests usually varied according to season.
Yes.
Even if food was varied, they usually prepare fish or seal meat.
Yes.
The fish and seal meat was the main food in potlatches.
Yeah.
All foods were dipped in seal oil. If you prepare a fish, you dip it in seal oil. Yeah. The second ritual related to potlatch, it is gifting. Potlatch ceremonies were characterized by giving different gifts to the all guests. Gifts were varied according to the person's level in the society. It means in potlatches mortuary, potlatches gifting meant compensating guests for their funeral activities. It means if I have somebody I know somebody and you came to support me, I will give some gifts to you because you came to support me. Yeah. But the potlatches from late times and today's potlatch are different. Yeah. In our days, potlatches still are being performed by people from Northwest Coast. But these ceremonies usually took days to be held, but today they are being held for about 12 to 24 hours. Yeah. And usually they have these ceremonies in weekends.
Yes.
These ceremonies are held today for baby showers, naming, weddings, anniversaries, and special birthdays, and graduations and memorial for the dead. Yeah. That was about potlatches, and I think you got it. Yes. No. First, I'm going to tell you about the second one, the Hawaiian poi. Yeah. The Hawaiian poi is a nutritious food made in taro roots. Taro roots, it's a plant, a tree planted by Hawaiian called taro. Then they take the root of that plant, they prepare it and become a Hawaiian poi. Yeah, to prepare this taro root, it takes some days, not hours. It takes days. First, people have to pound their taro root. After pound, they prepare the taro root in order to become the Hawaiian poi. Yeah, the Hawaiian poi is prepared. First, when you are going to prepare it, you have to be safe. When I'm talking about safety, it means because they take this like this poi has a spiritual significance. Yeah, this poi has a spiritual significance to Hawaiian. It means if you are going to do something which has spiritual significance, you have to be safe. Yeah. If someone has any cut on the fingers, he cannot kui. They use kui like it's a term used to Hawaiian kui, which means preparing the poi, which means kui. Yeah. And the spiritual significance of the Hawaiian poi. Hawaiian believe that the taro plant has some spiritual significance. They think that the taro plant is the firstborn before in the father and his daughter stars. They believe that taro is the firstborn. Other people came after taro. The reason why they consider the taro plant as the main thing in their culture. And thank you. Going to ask Philemon, which relation or connection can you make between the taro root or Hawaiian poi and our Rwandan culture?
Thank you very much. As you said that in Hawaiian they take taro as the first thing that existed. Also here in Rwanda I can use like an example of cows. Cows is one thing that have been considered as an important thing from very last time, and even people started finding cows to eat and having a very large amount of cows. So I would relate that to the Rwandan culture, the way they consider cows. Yeah.
Yes. And Narcisse, I want you to give me an answer on this question. On the potlatches, I said that they give gifts
Yeah.
when the host is hosting guests. And can you make a connection between this gifting to our Rwandan culture?
Yeah, of course. And our ancestors in Rwanda, they used to make a strong relationship and friendship, such kind of friendship. And I even remember my father when I was 7 years old. We went in a ceremony, and my father raised up a hand and say to his fellow, I give you a cow. And all people there crept and they raised the hand, saying him thank you very much. And this, I asked the question, my dad, you give a cow, how will we get milk? Our cow is going to go. And my father answered, to give a cow is a sign of real friendship.
Yes.
In Rwanda, if someone gives you a cow, it means that he is supporting you. He gives you a great support, and it is a gift. I think gifting in Potlatch culture is relating how in Rwanda they used to give cows to each other.
Yes. And thank you for letting me sharing with you, and welcome, Narcisse.
Yeah. For me, I used to look for 2 menus. The first one is tailgating at football games in America. Another one is called Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Yeah, let me start by tailgating at football games. Normally, that culture used to happen in America. And it is called tailgating, of course. Tailgating is the American event that takes place before American football game. I think you know what you call American soccer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before that game, people organize events where they used to share food and drink. And this event used to happen in autumn events. Yeah, you know. People used to share drink and food, and mostly they bring hamburgers, sausage, sticks, chicken, pork chops, and the beverage like water, alcohol, and so on. And this culture happened symbolizing like sharing food together with many people. And it is not normal to see like 100 people sitting together in a camp, eating, drinking, and having fun.
Yes.
People like this because it's like opportunity to have a fun. They enjoy, it's a kind of enjoying. And it is encouraged because the old people in America used it to do so before football game. This is the main importance in tailgating. They do so because their ancestors used to do so. And another thing that I can add in this tailgating, it is happening today. And they bring CDs, music, flash drive, and they play music. You know, music is kind of like accelerating kind of enjoyment. They enjoy a lot, making fun. And the main idea is that this happened before a football game.
Oh, they dance before.
Yeah, they dance before a football game.
Yes.
Yeah, this is all about tailgating at a football game. Another menu that I did is called Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Yeah, normally Pennsylvanian people were people who were poor and they used to live in inadequate conditions. But being poor and being in inadequate conditions makes them to be creative while searching for what they can eat, searching for food. You know, they used to be in environment searching for what they can eat, using environment. So, as they are poor, they have a common culture of sharing.
Yes.
No one can eat being alone. It is never. They used to share, and they use plates or large plates where they used to eat ramps with asparagus, huckleberries in their food. So the main important is that that food from environment, food from searching their environment, help them to survive even they are poor and they are in inadequate condition. The main also important thing that I can tell about Pennsylvania Dutch is that like 2 families or 3 families used to bring their food together in their church, their fathers and mothers sit together and eat at the same large plates. You know how that is kind of enjoyment. Being together like 3 families sharing the food, no one can get hungry because of lacking food. That's all about Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah. Mr. Philemon, when tailgating used to happen, if you've heard me.
Thank you very much. You presented that tailgating used to happen before the match or the soccer game, and then people come and they meet at one place, and then they enjoy, they share food, they share beverages, and then before such soccer game, people enjoy with music, with different beverages of drinking, such things, and then they enjoy before the soccer game starts.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Plans.
Yes.
I said about Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Yeah. People used to prepare food together. Even it may be 3 families or 4 families together. What connection can you make in one real connection, giving an example?
Yes. They used to share together like 3 families or more than 3 families in the same year in Rwanda. Even if here in Rwanda, yeah, we have a lot of food. We are not poor like them, but our ancestors used to share. They called some families and come together. They share on the same plate, kids together and old people together. And this it makes me feeling that like us like Rwandans, we have connection with those people from Pennsylvania, this Pennsylvanian culture. And it's very good because our ancestors used to share together, and the Pennsylvania culture is the same.
Yes. Thank you very much for your very good presentations about different menus that you worked on. I hope all of the group members gave you an overview of different types of food in different countries and the culture and the rituals attached to those types of food.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we are stepping into almost the last part of this meeting. We are going to talk about the field loads. Everyone of this group conducted a research. He went on the field, observed what's being done, questioned some people to better understand what is being done and how people perceive it culturally, the rituals attached to them. Let me step into the field research that I did. I did a field research about sorghum bread. This is a type of food that is usually used here in Rwanda, and it has some rituals attached to it. I know that there are some rituals, but I was not sure about really what's on the field, how people perceive it, and to better understand those rituals attached to it. The field research that I did was conducted to elaborate the process of how they make that sorghum bread, how they share it, and how people perceive it in the context of culture. When I was conducting this research, there are some methods that I use in order to get information. I have been able to get on the feed and see what people are doing. I have been able to question them. That means observation and also through questioning. So on the observation data, and I went on the field and see what people were doing. I have seen that people boil water for 30 minutes. Some of them were using coal, while others were using firewood. Using two different types of heating water, I have seen that when using firewood, it takes 20 minutes, while using coal, charcoals, it takes 30 minutes. So, what you might, I have observed what they use when preparing sorghum bread. They use water and sorghum flour. Yeah, the flour. So, I wondered also for how long it takes them. I have seen that when they start preparing it, it takes them between 6 minutes and 9 minutes. Okay, I have also observed the different other types and what is the color of the bread when it's ready. I have seen that it has a mixture of a red and gray color. It's kind of chocolate. The color is kind of chocolate. Also, I tried to know how many times the cooker takes off the casserole when preparing it. I've seen that usually it took it out of it took it off like 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. Yes. But I did not stop there because I also interviewed people to know how the rituals attached to sorghum bread. I asked the person if there are other skills that a person has to have in order to be able to prepare it, and the person answered me, it requires skills because you might not be able to prepare it since it's your first time to do it. So the person has to master the way of preparing it. And then I asked why people do not include the salt when cooking it, and then I found out that a salt can cause the bread to be very soft or melt so that people cannot eat it comfortably. Also, I wondered why most of the time women are the ones who prepare it, and I found out that women usually prepare it, but also men can do it. There are no exclusions about people who can prepare. Yeah, who can prepare it? Yeah. Also, I wanted to know. Let me now talk about some rituals attached to sorghum bread. Normally in Rwanda, they used to give each other sorghum after harvesting, which was a sign of fertility. So it has a fertility symbol in Rwandan culture. Moreover, Rwandans believe that sorghum bread is a main food which helps a kid to grow physically strong, to have a healthy life. So to wrap up, this shows that the culture attached to sorghum bread has not disappeared, because even till now, people use sorghum bread so as to have healthy life and to be physically strong. Thank you very much. I hope that gives you an overview of how people in Rwanda perceive sorghum bread and how the reason why they consider it as a main food. Then, Prince, can you share with us your field log?
Yes, thank you. My field research, I made a field research about beans, and I made it in northern province of our country, in Musanze. The reason it is because Musanze district is the one that produces many beans, much beans, in this country. Yeah. And I went there to visit my aunt. She's called Tuishime, and Tuishime has 4 daughters. And I arrived there, it was around 11, I think. And she was cooking beans. But I went there for the field research because I recognized that in every meal here in Rwanda, everybody has beans on the plate, on the meal, and I wanted to know the reason behind that. And when I asked it to Ishime said that in northern part of the country, beans are called ibiryo. Ibiryo, it is a Kinyarwanda word, and ibiryo in English means food. It means beans means food. That reason they cannot miss beans on their plate. And when I asked her, what if someone misses beans on her plate or his plate? And she told me that it happens, but it's a sign of poverty. If you have a lot of things, you should eat beans. But when you are going out or you do not have much money to buy them, it means when you lack beans on your plate, it's a sign of poverty. And she continued to talk to me, and she told me that even the significance of beans on their subculture, it is shown on the name that they call those beans. There are some mark of beans called umwizarahenda, and umwizarahenda is another Kinyarwanda word which means like the beauty is expensive. It means they take the food, they take the bean, they symbolize it like a beauty, a beautiful girl. You can imagine how a beautiful girl is worthy, and they symbolize the beans like a beautiful girl. It means that the umwizarahenda, yes, of course, it should be expensive. Yes. And there are other marks of beans. The poor family consume the other mark, and the rich family consume the umwizarahenda. And when I asked her about the significance of the beans tradition in the culture, they said that because the beans itself, it's called food, you cannot lack the food. If you lack the food, you will die. It means you have to eat every day the food. And it's all about that. I didn't go in deep, but it's all about that, the beans and their significance in their subculture. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Narcis, it's you.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. I'm going to share with you all about my field role. And I did a wonderful and interesting research about drink called urwagwa.
Oh, I like it.
Urwagwa is a traditional banana beer, a beer made from banana. And people in Rwanda used to call it amazi y'abagabo. In Kinyarwanda, amazi y'abagabo. And the meaning in English, we can say drink of a man. Yeah. And I'm considering, this make me remember how my father used to have always in a cup that kind of beer, urwagwa. And we as child, we used to drink normal water. Yes. And my father always has that cup of urwagwa. And if other people come to visit him, he used to give them urwagwa. That's kind of banana beer. And that's making me being curious to know all about urwagwa. Yes. And I visited a family of Sebanani John. Sebanani John is a father of 2 children, and he was about preparing urwagwa, banana beer, and I used to observe and ask him some questions how he was preparing urwagwa. You can't imagine how much it was interesting being with Sevanan John, observing how he's preparing banana beer. And I used to prepare some specific questions to ask him so that I will know all about urwagwa. In this meeting, I'm going to share with you some few questions, simple questions. Other questions will be in the report.
Yes.
Yeah. I asked Sevanan, first of all, what is the first step to prepare urwagwa? He told me that urwagwa comes from bananas. Of course, they used to keep bananas for like 7 days so that they become soft to be prepared into urwagwa. And those banana used to be kept in a cool space so that they will be soft and be prepared into urwagwa. And before 7 days, at 6th or 5th day, they used to cut those bananas and mix them so that they give juice.
Yes.
And juice they mix it with sorghum, kind of sorghum, and they keep the mixture of banana juice and sorghum into a container,
Yes.
where it is also in place which is cool. And after 2 days, there is a kind of alcohol made from juice and banana. Yeah. Urwagwa, Sevanan told me that sometimes they can also add honey, kind of honey, and it comes special banana drink, special urwagwa. And that's what kind of drink they give to special guests who came to visit families. Yeah, I asked Sevanan how urwagwa is considered in Rwandan culture. He told me that urwagwa was a drink of even a king. King of Rwanda used to drink urwagwa as a daily. You know, in nowadays we used to take breakfast, but a king, in the absence of milk, he used to take urwagwa. Yeah, and urwagwa is a drink which is special because in ceremonies, wedding ceremonies, in all ceremonies in Rwanda, urwagwa can't miss there. The main drink was urwagwa. It's kind of alcohol which is traditional and special to the Rwandan culture. Yeah, I ended with the interview with Sevanan, inviting me that after 2 days I will be coming to, and he can give me a cup of urwagwa so that I can consume about it. Yes. And thank you very much for being attentive.
Thank you, Narcisse.
Thank you very much. This was a very interesting sharing out of different research that you did in our culture and different types of food and how people perceive it in the context of culture. I think it was very interesting for us even conducting such kind of research. We found very many interesting things in our culture, and I hope you also enjoyed learning about different culture across the world and even specifically in Rwanda.
In addition, this is very interesting because we found some commonalities and differences along different cultures. And for me, the most interesting thing is that I may eat some kind of food, but not consider it not drink it with some rituals and values to eat it as it is a food only. But in other countries, they may eat such kind of food considering it as main important more than being a food.
Yes.
As we take it a beans in Rwanda, and Japanese they take rice, something special, not only food, but
Yes.
something else.
And
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for this meeting and suggestion. After this meeting, may we go to take a lunch somewhere with significance. Yeah, take beans, rice, because we know rice is the main food in Japan,
Yes.
beans the main food in Rwanda. Take them and lunch, and it will be better.
And Ogwaba also.
Yeah, yes, I like that.
Thank you very much for being attentive.
Yeah,
You are welcome again.
yes.